Come on. There we go. Okay, guys. So did I need to zoom back in? Y'all, this is a different, like I was telling you, this is a different setup. Okay. So I just had to, I came off a live because I had to test how this would turn out because I am doing, oh, I'm doing this live from my tablet, which I don't know why, but the iPad is a little grainy. I hate that. But I don't have a device. I tried to go live from my laptop and it's like still, let me see. It is still, I believe, yeah, so it wouldn't go live. It's not doing anything. So we're gonna go ahead and do this with my laptop and my tablet. I think if I don't get too close, yeah, see now I see my hand all grainy. But if I don't get too close from this distance, it looks like it registers decent. I don't know, girl. We working with what we got until we get what we want. I don't know why, but that made me think of girl, what's that movie? Players Club. We we use what we got to get what we want. So we're gonna go back into painting. It looks decent though, girl. I'm sorry if you do see the little fuzziness, but you know it is what it is. I was supposed to do this last night. Money was home. I was supposed to can y'all can't see me. Girl, like how I'ma do this? Let me zoom out a little bit. But it is a wider angle. That part I like. It's a wide angle camera, so you can literally see me and the whole painting at the same time. It's just grainy. So I was gonna go live last night. Let's bring the ring light in, give us a little bit more lighting. I think the tablet has a better camera quality when it's more light. But I don't understand why it's still dark in here and I already got this light. Let's see if we could change the setting. I ain't got but an hour, girl, and I'm doing all this. I don't have but an hour. Okay, let's leave that alone because I ain't got that much time, girl. Okay. So I should have had this done. Y'all know, y'all hear this same song and dance every day. I should have had this done before I went live, but I never do. Girl, that's just how I am. We're winging it from now on until we actually get some momentum on this channel. Okay, so when I came home, I thought I had a specific paintbrush out that I was using. Okay, but when I came home, I was gonna use Money's use her phone to go live last night. But I had the worst headache. I have felt like, ew. Y'all know I had to, well, first, I don't know how long you've been following me, but if you've been following me anytime, then you kind of know the, maybe if I put some golden color in it. I don't like the way these colors are coming out on the mother. They're just ashy like. I don't like the colors. So maybe we'll try, cause see, I did the neck in one color and I did the Gracie, which is Princess, in one color, but it was too dark. It wasn't the color I wanted, so I lined it up some. But that is like lighter, but it's ashy. It's no glow. Like we got glowy skin. So maybe if I don't even know what color I used for that. I think that was a tan. I usually keep the colors I'm using right now. That might be it. This one. I think that is. It's a khaki. But I usually keep the colors that I'm using right now out so that I don't have to figure out what colors I'm using. But one of the things y'all know about my channel. I am legally blind. I have something called keratoconus. It is a rare eye disease in which your cornea starts bulging, and it bulges out so much that it ruptures. It ruptures the cornea. And when that time happens, that's when you end up, I need a transplant, cornea transplant. The only other person that I've known to have keratoconus, one is Bill Cosby. So that's how he was born blind. He had those bulging eyes. And then, but he had money, so I don't understand what happened, like why he didn't do the surgery or whatever. But okay, I could understand because, girl, why I ain't did the surgery yet. There's reasons on that. Maybe I could tell that in another story time. But yeah, so anyways, besides that, I have carpal tunnel, which I'm a licensed cosmetologist. I do a lot, but my hands hold me back from so much. It's like having a gift with a curse. Eminem ain't never lied when he said my gift is my curse. I have many gifts, but I have many curses that follow with my gifts. So this live stream is not going to work because none of that has come up. So let's just close out of that. Okay, so carpal tunnel has stopped me with so much. It does hurt, and it kind of, my hands are numb as I'm trying to paint and draw, but I just shake through it. I keep going. I press through it because I want to, that's my gift. I'm going to use it as long as I have any amount of ability. But then also I had a slip and fall at the Super Center, which caused me to get fired. They fired me for falling on my day off, like Craig. Like, girl, got fired like Craig on his day off. And I was forced into trying to sue the company just because I couldn't get any care. But then later they did some underhanded-ish. They got to the point where they didn't have to pay me anything. The lawyer dropped me, called me the week after my mother died, before her funeral, called me and said, yep, all that we talked about, that settlement, it's out the door. I'm leaving you, dropping you as a client. So that was now 2013. That was 10 years ago. 10 years ago. And I've had pain ever since. I have 3 herniated discs in my neck. I had 5 pinched nerves. I don't know how many the chiropractor were able to. I go to an advanced chiropractor now because I've tried every single thing you could think of, from injections in my head to steroids to physical therapy to orthopedic to, girl, I done tried everything. Daily headaches, constant pain. I have sciatica, I have all kinds of bull crap. Like, it's so much. And the only thing that has helped me was the last 3 years of going to this place. It's advanced chiropractic. And they basically, they do things different, much different from a regular chiropractor. And it's actually been helping. It got rid of my daily headaches. I'm sorry, it's so hard for me to multitask. Sorry about that, guys. Okay, so it is very hard for me. Oh, girl, that ain't what I was saying. I'm about to repeat. It's very hard for me to multitask. Yo. What am I talking about? Ain't nobody on the chat, so you can't tell me what I was talking about. Oh, girl. Oh, yeah, he do things different. And through 3 years of being under his care, I was able to get rid of the daily headaches. I'm able to still work, function. I work with pain, like in my job before going to him. I would literally be uttered in pain. I would have to go in the bathroom and cry, like just take a break real quick. People think I'm just in there using the bathroom, but I'm literally in there crying because I'm in pain and I don't know what I need to do because I have to work, I have to pay the bills. I'm a single mother. I have to take care of myself. I have to keep my job because I am going blind and I'm gonna need that insurance for that transplant, but I unfortunately just cannot work because work caused me pain. So I'm stuck right now in a rock and a hard place in between. Don't know what to do. I need my job, but I can't really do my job. That's why I try to make it on YouTube, but that's a slow train to nowhere, it feels like. But basically, I started feeling better. I stopped having the daily headaches, this, and that. But lately, due to financial difficulties that I'm sure we're all feeling, so I'm not saying, hey, be sorry for me and this and that. I know we all going through it. But because I'm going through it, I had to find where I can cut back. I could barely pay my rent. I barely, like, grace of God, but God comes through every single time right before it's time to pay that rent. I was sitting up there worrying about it now because I'm counting down. I got 9 days before rent is due again. And I'm like, God is going to provide. I mean, I don't know what else I can do. I can't worry anymore. So I was sitting there and trying to figure out, well, what can I do? Oh, I should be painting, girl. I was like, what can I do, like, to cut back and save some money? So I don't really do frivolous things. I know I go out with the kids a lot, so it's a lot of family time. So the only place I can really cut back is either like the calls with Marcello, because you know I am a prison wife, and if you didn't know, now you know, I can cut back. We don't go see him, so the cost for that is not really there. But I do talk to him a lot, like at least once or twice a day, which becomes like $5 to $10 a day, which adds up to a lot, because it's a cost to keep in touch with your loved one. And they know they're making bank off us. That's the whole purpose in this system, girl. It ain't for that rehabilitation like they like to tell you. But I can either cut back there, which is very hard, but I mean, if you have to, you have to, girl. You can't put money on that GTL, you just can't put money on that GTL. So it don't even look like it's changing the color. It's not brightening it up or nothing. So anyways, I'm like, only place I can cut back, I guess, is my chiropractic care. So I stopped the chiropractor for like the last month or something, and I'm feeling it. I'm hurting. I'm having headaches. I'm hurting in my shoulder blade. They feel like I just fell on that floor. Like the way I felt 10 years ago and how I felt like I was just destroyed. That's how I feel now. Headache. I'm like, what am I gonna do? My arms hurting, my shoulders, everything is in pain. But I really cannot afford it. Like, I've literally been under his care, and I pay out of pocket because this is advanced chiropractic. This is not nothing that's covered by insurance. So I pay out of pocket. My pocket can't afford to pay it no more, girl. So that's why I'm going. I'm in pain right now. So I don't know. I just have to let it go and know that God does know my pain. He knows what I'm going through. I have so much. I don't know. But I was going to tell you guys that I told you in the last live, or was it the last? No, it was my last uploaded video, that I literally seen 2 other people free, one themselves. So the guy I'm going to show you today, he freed himself through art. Because you know I'm trying to find freedom for Marcello through art and music. I am trying to break the wrongful conviction story of Mr. Marcello Jackson through my artwork, which is the only thing people have ever paid attention to in me, with concerning me. They don't care about what my lips be flapping about. They don't care about nothing. All they care about is, ooh, that girl can draw. So I use that. And then I also am a artist of words. So I do poetry and raps and stuff like that. Ooh, that ain't cute in the scene, girl. Let's put that back there. So I try to get attention. I have gotten my artwork to so many people, with Marcello's story to so many people, but Marcello still is not free. Nothing breaks the story to where it goes viral like all these other stories. And then we will march. Then and only then will we march. Will we demand change, is when something's viral. We dare not help those that are not viral, which is, it sucks, but that's how we are. So, well, I guess that's coming out all right, but now there's some texture in it because this got like this little glittery stuff. But you know what, girl, we ain't gonna never finish this picture. We trying to be perfect. That's the one thing about an artist. Artists want to be perfect, and we got to realize we are not perfect. That's one thing that can hurt an artist, being a perfectionist, and I'm definitely a freaking perfectionist. Yeah, so this guy, Valentino Dixon is his name. Dixon? Girl, how ironic! Are you kidding me? This is prophetic. This is not just ironic. This is freaking prophetic. The Dixon family literally had one family reunion. And when I first heard this story, and his name, Valentino Dixon, I'm like, girl, is he my cousin or something? Like, for real? Like, what side of the, where you come from? Do you originate from Mississippi? Or blah, 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 blah. Girl, I don't know. But it's ironic that I got on my Dixon family reunion shirt. Because literally, I did not plan that. I went home last night after work, and I changed before I came to Money's house. And because I stay over here sometimes and help her with the baby and stuff like that. So this was the first shirt that I saw. So I put it on. And it's ironic that I'm going to show you the video of Valentino Dixon wrongfully accused, arrested, and I forgot how long he did, but he did decades in prison, and he was released in, I believe, 2020. So let's get into this so I can get into this. Let's play it. Valentino Dixon, Ro Clausen, y'all gonna see her. Oh, she was a prison wife, but her husband came home. Thank God. I think 2021 he came home. Innocent man does, oh my gosh, 28 years in prison after 8 witnesses cleared him. Valentino Dixon interview.
I spent 27 years in prison for a crime I didn't commit. 8 witnesses cleared me this crime in a confession. And the justice system turned a blind eye to this evidence because they did not want to admit that they made a mistake or that it was intentional by the prosecutor who handled this case. So a lot of...
Ooh, he came out the gate. Intentional, which I always say that wrongful convictions, I don't think they're mistakes. I think they are very much intentional. And he said, or what did he just say, girl? Let's listen to that again. But that, he never lied right there. They are not mistakes. They're doing that on purpose. They wrongfully convicted people on purpose. Oh yeah, and then the second part he said was that they don't want to admit it. So when they are caught up with, hey, yeah, you know that is true, but you know we'll never take. It's almost like a I just watched a self-aware narcissist. I love him, love him, love him. And he was saying not just people are narcissistic, systems are narcissistic. And definitely the justice system is very much narcissistic. They will not admit to nothing they do wrong. They can do you wrong up and down, left and right, side to side, and will never want to admit it. And if you make them admit it, you're gonna pay for it. But you, yourself, and myself, and all of us must follow the rules, the laws, and everything else.
I spent 27 years in prison for a crime I didn't commit. 8 witnesses cleared me this crime in a confession, and the justice system turned a blind eye to this evidence because they did not want to admit that they made a mistake or that it was intentional by the prosecutor who handled this case. So a lot of politics kept me in prison, and this happens often.
Thank you, often.
Hi, my friends. It's
Oh, I miss her so
really quick.
much.
Hopefully, you guys can hear me okay. I have
I love
headphones
her.
in because
Closet.
I'm filming on my phone really quick, and a few people have said that my videos that I film on my phone recently have been really low, and then when the commercials and the intro comes in, it's like blaring
Oh,
loud.
yes, it's
I
so
apologize.
She's like,
when
I
edit,
adopted her as my
I
big
use
sister.
headphones, so it's all the same sound to me, so I didn't even know there was any discrepancy. Hopefully this will resolve the issue. If not, I will practice with my headphones on my computer. And the only reason I'm on my phone right now is because I was literally
I cannot
in the
see it. I'm
process
too low.
of getting dressed to go outside and work out, and I remembered I needed to shoot the intro for this video, so that's why you're getting workout row. But I want to get this done as soon as possible because this is so exciting. So we have an interview with Valentino Dixon, a man who did close to 30 years in New York State prison for a crime that not only he didn't commit, there were over 9, I think, witness testimonies that proved that he wasn't there and they were overlooked. And he spent almost 3 decades still trying to prove his innocence and get himself out, which he wound up doing. He wound up getting himself basically celebrity status. He's been super successful in the short time he's been out. He's about to have a hit TV show, and we'll put that all in the interview. Here's the thing. This is the cool part of this is I was not the person who conducted this interview because my very dear friend Kat, who's been on the channel before, she goes by the name Mrs. B. She is good friends with Valentino. They went to school together, so it was a no-brainer that she would interview him over me interviewing him because they know each other. They have history and friendship together. And she was a integral part of getting history out at the family conference when he first got out. She told anybody that would listen. She's a huge supporter of his. So, without wasting any more time, here is Valentino Dixon's story and an interview with my dear friend Kat, Mrs. B.
Hi guys, it's Admin Kat, and I have a special treat for you.
Yes.
With us is my classmate and dear friend Valentino Dixon. I'm going to let him tell you his
I'm
story.
literally
We're
finna
going to
cry.
go right into this and start with some questions that we came up with. So Valentino, welcome. And on behalf of Strong Prison Wives, I want to thank you for your time because I know how super, super busy you are. And I got to say, man, what have you been out, like a year and a half now?
Yeah, about a year and 8 months.
Okay, so in that year and 8 months, I have seen you walk out of that jail, walk out of that courthouse.
Oh, I wish that could come from our
So
channel.
much in that year and 8 months.
And for
And
me.
I'm kind of in awe of you, and it kind of makes me say, what the hell could he have done in 27 years if he would have been home? Let's get into it, and we'll start with the first question. Tell me about yourself, your story. Where are you from? How long did you do? And how long, well, we're not going to go into the last question because you already answered it. How long did you go?
All right, well, I spent 27 years in prison for a crime I didn't commit. Me and you went to school together, and we took art together. And so while in prison, I realized that if I was ever going to see the light of day, I would have to draw myself out of prison.
Did you hear that? Did you hear that? If he oh girl, let me zoom in. Let me zoom in. Did y'all hear that? Oh, it won't zoom? We ain't gonna zoom? He said, whew, girl, how much time I got before work? We ain't gonna even make it through this interview. He said if he did not draw his way out of prison And that's definitely how I felt about Marcello. We tried the legal ways to get him out. We tried. I just read y'all this transcript. I read y'all all the issues and the discrepancies. Like, anybody can see that they had nothing to charge him. How the heck is you charging him? You don't even have a weapon and you charging him with the freaking weapon. Like, where in the heck do they do that at? Florida court systems do that. And I guess New York court systems do that too. But once we went through all the legal ways and realized that they're not gonna budge on anything. And I'm gonna read y'all the ways we tried to remedy the motions that Marcello put in and were quickly denied, motion denied, motion denied. When you clearly see you have grounds on the motion, just like that, the motion for the representation, his counsel was working against him, and it was saying that you basically, I forgot what the motion is called, but it's basically saying that you lost your trial because of the incompetency of your own legal defense. And that is what happened. But it wasn't that man was incompetent. That man was literally on purpose working against Marcello. He secured this wrongful conviction, which is crazy because you're not defending, like, he wasn't a state lawyer, so why the heck was he helping the state? That makes no sense. And that is a clear-cut case of your lawyer working against you. Now, granted, when we filed that motion, we did not know that his lawyer was the one that actually made that subpoena happen to those guys that didn't want to be a part of it. We had a feeling, but we didn't know, like, we didn't have the subpoenas in hand where he was, like, until I ordered his whole case. And I think I did that in 2021 or 22. When I ordered his whole case and I found that paperwork showing that he was the one that went out of town and that he asked for money from the judge to go out of town to bring these people to court, when if you had just left it alone, they did not show up to trial. He stopped the trial because by them not showing up, really, you had to let Marcello go because there was nobody to press the issue. So he himself asked for continuances and then said, Judge, let me get a chance to go out of town. Pay me as well to go out of town. But that's the part. He used his pocket money and asked for reimbursement. So he used his own money to build a defense against his client. That, Jesus, this makes me mad. And I don't need to be mad this morning because I still got my headache. So let's finish listening to Valentino.
8 witnesses cleared me this crime in a confession. And the justice system turned a blind eye to this evidence because they did not want to admit that they made a mistake.
I told you, they'll take out evidence, they'll put stuff in.
The prosecutor who handled this case. Yep. So a lot of politics kept me in prison, and this happens often. Where you see people being released after 10, 20, 30 years when the evidence existed this whole entire time.
Wow.
So I grew up to 10
and y'all think I'll be lying.
Catherine,
I believe it.
Right. And I started to get national attention while I was in prison. Mm-hmm. And one day the warden comes by and he says, hey, Valentino, would you draw my favorite golf hole? Because I was known as the artist in Attica. And I said, yeah, sure, why not? I never golf before. I'm a black kid from the inner city. You know, so you know golf is not something that we do. Right? You already know that. So I draw this golf course for him, the 12th hole of Augusta. He loves it. I give it to him. He retires shortly thereafter. One of the other inmates said, hey, Valentino, you need to draw some more golf holes. I'm like, get out of here. I'm not drawing no golf holes. What are you talking about? He brought some old golf digest magazines.
Home.
Before I knew it, I started drawing golf courses every day. Which led to me sending one of the drawings in a 4-page letter to the Golf Digest magazine. Wow. Which led to them coming to the prison, interviewing me in July 2012. Which led to a Golf Channel interview, which was nominated for an Emmy Award in 2014. However, I still remained in prison. until Georgetown came 3 years later and decided to take my case. And they did an investigation. More evidence was uncovered that the prosecutor withheld
suppressed
physical evidence that cleared me the crime.
Thank you.
When I was arrested, they took my clothes and they took my car and they tested to see if I fired a weapon. And when it came back negative, this prosecutor withheld the results.
Yes.
Yes.
They take it out.
And
they don't bring that to trial.
This, and ultimately, I was released September 19, 2018.
Wow.
Since then, I've used my voice to travel all around the world and to educate people, to inform them on our system and how we can make the system more fair, just, and equal.
Because it ain't. And let me tell you, he did reach out to me. I actually reached out to him, and surprisingly enough, he didn't turn a blind eye. He actually tried to help me. He gave me a little bit of advice, you know. He basically was the one that encouraged me to start a new GoFundMe. I mean, not GoFundMe, because, I mean, I have a GoFundMe, but it's not raising nothing. Like, I'll never raise, and especially with inflation, girl, we'll never get to that point of raising legal defense. But he encouraged me to start a new change petition because they closed my change petition. It's like I tried every avenue, and it gets very discouraging when you know you've tried everything, you know you've done everything, you know you're not just sitting here asking for handouts. You yourself work on a daily basis for what you want and what is right. It is not right for them to have Marcello Jackson in that prison, and he did not commit that crime. That's a travesty. And I work daily to uncover that travesty. And, you know, so I'm not just asking for a handout for like free handouts and I'm not working for it myself. Girl, I'm working for it. It's just not happening. But he encouraged me to start that GoFundMe. I mean, why do I keep saying GoFundMe? That change petition again. I can link that in the description box once the live is over. If you're in the live now, just Google Marcello Jackson, Florida man, wrongfully convicted, and it should pop right on up. You can, if you already shared it, because I have had a few supporters, I'm now trying to get to 1,500 signatures at this point because they break your goals down. I am at 1,100 something, I think. So if you have currently already signed it, just share it again if possible. Share it to like 5 people. I gotta get it circulating, and I literally cannot do it on my own. That's the one thing I hate about this situation, because I am an independent person, and I hate that I'm in a situation that it's not gonna just depend on me. That makes you feel so helpless. I literally have to depend on others, and I hate that because others have never been dependable for me. But yeah, so he has reached back out to me. I think we kind of lost ties because he just got out. He got his own life to live. He got his own life to make up for. He's on his own grind, his own hustle. So I am thankful for every little thing. I was just surprised that he even reached back, you know. So let's get back into his story.
You know, not just blacks, whites, you know, Hispanics, everyone. Because our sentencing laws are some of the harsh sentencing laws in the world.
Yeah.
You know, it violates the eighth amendment to the Constitution against cruel and unusual punishment.
Yep.
And I just visited a guy that's 47 years on a 20-year sentence. Imagine that. And this is the reason why we have over 2.4 million people that's locked up in prison, because they're not releasing anybody. And
how about, I'm sure you don't care, right? Because it's those people that shouldn't have did what they did. It's a problem that arises, accumulates, and keeps getting worse because it's simply nobody cares about it.
You know, and
not enough.
So people. I just use this time and the platform that I've been given by God to spread this message Because
So
without the American people really understanding and getting on board,
they
the
don't
system is never
understand
going to
it.
change.
And thank you.
On top of that,
Or if it does change, it's not gonna change in our lifetime. Not in Marcello and I. So I realize the system ain't trying to change at all. So I just want him out of it. Like I want to spare his life, and then once we can spare his life, possibly we can save our sons and grandsons and nieces and nephews and future generations. Hopefully. But most likely we won't be able to because we're not stopping the monster now. We're really not. We're just allowing the monster to eat, regurgitate, and we don't care. It's out there. It's eating people alive, and we simply don't care.
I've had some art shows in some of the biggest galleries around the world. I've met Tiger Woods. I told him he was going to win the Masters before he won it last year. I came up with an idea to have a drawing show called Draw and Talk with Me, where I teach people how to draw of all different professions. I got an NFL football player, Hall of Fame golfer, one who dated Donald Trump, Major League Baseball players, a heart doctor at Johns Hopkins Hospital, a police officer, 20 people that have Parkinson's disease. I teach all these people how to draw because they don't believe they have the talent. It is my job to bring that out of them, and then we discuss.
I do want to start teaching to draw, but I think I'm going to do that on my Legally Blind Artist channel, so you will have to subscribe over there. This is justice here, girl.
Like issues. We talk about prison reform. We talk about social justice. We talk about overcoming challenges, because that's a big thing with people in the world now, is that, people don't know where to turn to when they find themselves in difficult situations. So I'm the guy that's going to tell you that I survived a 6x8 prison cell for 27 years, and you too can survive anything that life throws at you.
Marcello has survived 21 years now. Unjustly in a Florida DOC cell, which I don't know about New York, but New York get cold and stuff. But Florida is hot. And there is no AC in Florida, so it's sweltering heat. You got guards that are doing whatever to the incarcerated citizens because nobody cares about their lives because they are the throwaways of society. So they are constantly being mistreated. The inhumane situation, that's what Corey Miller was trying to bring attention to through his hunger strike and stuff, how they're being inhumanely treated in prison. They have already been sentenced. We are not the judge and the jury. So we do not have the right to mistreat and allow and stand by and just sit back as others are mistreated by the system when they have already been sentenced. They are already serving their sentence, and I'm sure nobody's prison sentence is a piece of cake. They already doing their time for whatever crime they did or did not do.
So I just try to motivate people. I try to inform them. I've been given a gold medal from the Vatican Church. And I also was nominated for an Emmy Award again, and I went to the Emmys last year. It's been wonderful. It's been a lot of work. I still write inmates every week. I accept their phone calls. I visit them. Yeah. I have such a busy schedule, but I find time to do these things.
And that's amazing. That's amazing. With me, I tell people the story that we're in, and they look at me and they go, "Oh, stop! That's an episode of Law and Order.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?"
They don't believe it.
Right.
Or I tell them what our founder from SPWF, what her husband's going through,
And he's
serving
home.
213
Oh my
years,
gosh.
and never hurt anybody because he had a gun and it happened, and all this. So I love that you took
He's
this
advocating too
talent
now.
that we had, which, by the way, let's make it known, when we went to performing arts, you didn't do that. You know what I mean? We had to fight for our talent back then to go to that school. And I love that you did that, and I love that you're doing this, and that's why I'm in such awe of you, because, again, you've accomplished so much in that year in 8 months,
Wow.
then it just proves that, the second chances really do mean something.
Thank you. Second chances. And that's what we're fighting for. And that's what they bat down. Every session starts, we fight for second chances. They don't know. No, y'all shut the door. All that BS. You shouldn't have did what you did. Well, why did they do what they did? Possibly because the prison is actually the result of issues in society that should be addressed, that we never want to address. We never want to find answers to. We want to hide them. We want to put them under the rug. We want to, get it away from me. It's unsightly. No, this is not our country. Like, we hide the worst of what's happening, ignore it, and then expect it to go away. Well, that's why it's all a sum total that leads to the prison. So if we do a lot more rehabilitating, a lot more prevention, we know a lot of this happens in middle schoolish times to late elementary. Let's do more in keeping families together. Let's do more education. Let's do more learning how to be socially together. Let's stop dividing from this group and that group and let's tackle these issues, and you can have less crime. Crime is the end. It's not the beginning. People ain't just born and, hey, let's commit some crimes. Like, who really does that? It comes from somewhere. It's a sickness. It's like the little smallest sign of some type of virus or it's something that starts very little, and then it grows, it explodes, and it gets big, and then it's out of hand. And that's what has happened because, again, no one cares.
And when you have something that's got that fire inside of you, you're drawing. It's amazing. Let's go to the next question. And I think I already know the answer to this because I've been following you since the day you came out. What are some of the unexpected obstacles that you've encountered coming home?
I am so hungry.
Well, I'm different. Okay?
Right. You're exceptional.
I haven't really experienced obstacles because I did my research before I came out.
Yeah, you kept
all right? And this is very important for the guy leaving prison. He needs to talk to as many people as possible because guys come in and out of prison as a rotating door.
Yep.
So I would ask guys to pick their brains, like, how did you end back up in prison? You just did 5 years and now you're right back. Okay, so I got all of these stories that I listened to, and I took all this knowledge in, and I just said to myself, you can't allow none of these things to happen to you. So I was prepared. When I got out, I knew what to expect. I knew what type of phone I wanted. All of these things. 27 years, you can get stuck in time if you're not careful.
Yeah.
So I made it my business to educate myself, read hundreds of books, pick everybody's brains, pay attention. I don't care if we was watching TV in the prison lobby. I'm paying attention to a commercial. I'm paying attention to everything that comes on the screen because I have to. And if I don't, I'm not going to know what's going on in society. So I can tell you that I was just so grateful to have my freedom.
Oh, girl, let me share this to Facebook.
It was like I could overcome it in my sleep. Because the hard part is over. But everybody don't have that type of fortune as I have. Okay, a lot of guys walk out, they don't have a support base. I had a support base. They don't have the level of education that I gave myself in prison. It is very hard for them. I've, been contacted by guys who was released and didn't have clothes, where I had to go buy them clothes and sneakers, who didn't have $5 in their pocket, didn't have a place to stay. I'm speaking from my perspective, but I'm sorry, I am not trying to be rude,
but I gotta accept his call.
I remember when you were doing the
so I'm gonna leave y'all with this.
Somebody
and I'll be right back.
How you kept your light going. You didn't get that dark place. And again, another reason to be in complete awe of you. If you had to do it all over again and you were being released today,
know, and I had a business plan, and I love to give and help everybody. I gave away a little bit too much money to family and friends when I came home. They should have been giving me money. So I would do that a little differently. I wouldn't give them as much as I did.
You always had a big heart. You always had a big heart, Valentino. Always had a big heart. Going back a little further, what might you have done differently while still being in prison, knowing the challenges once released? But I don't think you really had it.
Well, let me say this. I wasted I think the first 7 years I kind of wasted away. I did my time like a lot of other people. I wasn't productive. All right? I didn't get productive till maybe the 8th year. So my last 20 years was productive. Had I known what I know now, I would have went right to work. You know, my appeals were denied and denied and denied, and I didn't know much about the law. I didn't start learning about the law until about 10 years into my incarceration. Okay? I would have immediately, you know, started reading the law books and going to the law library, and I would have saved a lot of money because I had 9 lawyers in 27 years. You know, yeah. And these guys sucked the life out of me, my family, and my supporters. And it wasn't until I started studying and understanding what's going on here that I was able to sit in front of any lawyer and basically go toe-to-toe with them if they wanted to play legal games with me. I mean, that's what it took. I had to be whatever it is I needed to be in order to get my freedom. I had to be a lawyer. I had to be a psychologist.
And you had to be everything.
An artist. You know, I had to be a great speaker. You know, I started speaking to the prisoners about choices. You know, and I never was the type of guy that was going to get before people and speak. You kidding me? I was afraid of that. I had to overcome those fears. For me, it was life or death. I didn't have a choice. You either become this person that you need to be, or you may die in a prison cell.
Because you were in Attica and you were in
I was in Wendy for a year.
Wendy.
I was in Clinton for a year, and I was in Attica for 25 years.
Yeah.
Imagine that, surviving Attica 25 years. And let me say this, and not coming out like really like damaged, like, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly, like that's
I refuse to allow that to happen. I've seen how people were damaged in prison because of the long-term confinement, solitary confinement, and it really messed with people's psychological way of how they see things in life.
We hear it every day, especially now in these challenging times. They're letting guys come home, and our members are telling us, I don't know what to do, and they're coming to me because I'm really the only one that has somebody who came home, and we're so fortunate. I mean, he only did 4 years. He did the same thing you did. He had a goal, he worked on that goal, we got the business going. What you've been through is just amazing, and I remember the day you got arrested. I remember seeing your name. We graduated in 1989. You got arrested, what, 91?
Yep.
Yeah.
91.
And I remember I saw it on TV and I was like, what? What?
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. Murder, you know me.
No,
that's the worst thing on the planet that they can accuse me of is murder.
No,
that hurt me so hard to my soul.
Yeah, and I said that. I said, something doesn't jive here. Something's wrong. Because you didn't have the heart for that.
Never.
We're not going to get into your fashion, okay? I'm not going to do that to you. You were fly, though.
That's right.
You were fly, and you were ahead of your time. But you kind of like, were out there, but you weren't out there.
Right.
And for that, it just...
And you know me. I was always respectful.
Oh,
never troublemaker.
Never bothered nobody. Loud, like some of the people you know.
I always had this smile.
Yeah, always. And here's the thing, like when you got released, and then I started hearing all the stuff, I was like, wait a second. I was like the other person that would come to me and go, this is a law and order. You know what I mean? Like, it was just insane. We're going to move forward. What experience did you have in prison that most benefited you while transitioning home?
I don't know if it was one thing. It was a combination of things. I think that I prepared for like 20 years. You know, I prepared as if I was going home tomorrow. every day the last 20 years. You know, so I can't think of one particular thing that helped me the most during my transition. Everybody takes a different course. For me, it was study. It was paying attention to the world. How do I make myself happy when I get out? What kind of life I'm going to live? And this does not just apply to me, it applies to everybody. Because all of us are going to be tested in life. My test was 27 years. You know, I have friends in prison who committed suicide because they could not pass the test. And they only had a year to go home. That type of thing. So the mind is very fragile. But my point is that even right now with the coronavirus, okay, this is a quarantine for most people. A lot of people is, you know, just out there. They doing whatever they want to do. But for most people, it's taking this serious. This is like a quarantine that they've never experienced ever in life. Okay? And they can walk around the house, you know, whereas I had a 6x8 cell for 27 years. That's a quarantine beyond quarantine. I don't like to harp a lot into, oh, I'm this victim of this and this and this and this. No. I'm going to say that everything happens for a reason. And if I had to spend 27 years in prison to come out with and use my voice to help change the world in some small, significant way, then this is what it had to be.
That's how I feel about our situation. I feel like I was put on this path to help people. And also, it rekindled my art too, because now I'm, you know, the executive designer of everything the organization does. So for that, I'm also grateful. And I don't like to play the victim either. And I think it goes back to us going to the school that we went to at the time that we went to, because I was a freak in my neighborhood. I was in North Buffalo with all the Guidos. You know what I'm saying? You were doing other stuff. And I had a father who was a hairdresser. Like, that was even worse. Let me ask you, what was the single most valuable resource that you had access to during your transition?
I met a guy that helped me get healthcare and dental, who has spent 37 years in prison himself. So I really needed that. Outside of that right there, I haven't taken any type of therapy, classes with anybody or sessions, but I put it that way. I just do a lot of praying. I stay focused on the goal. I think life is too short. You know, you got to figure this stuff out quick.
Right.
You know? And even now, people are going to have to try to figure out how their life is going to be after this, what they're going to do different, because life is never going to be the same for us. All right? So you have to, instead of being a victim of this, the goal is to be victorious and come out of this stronger. Wow, this made me stronger. Right. Just 2 or 3 months inside allowed me to discover things about myself, allowed me to stop procrastinating, where I started doing so many things that I had procrastinated about, because now I have the time to do it.
That's awesome. What essential resource was missing during your transition?
Well, once again, nothing, because the foundation was already laid out for me, okay? But once again, I'm going to speak for the person that does not have that foundation. The person that's walking out of prison, that needs a job, that needs shelter, that needs clothing, that needs a support base, that needs counseling. Okay? I'm going to speak for that person right now, because for me to say anything, it would be untrue. Everything that I needed was there for me. Okay? But that is not the norm. People really come out of here, out of the prison system, into nothing. They also get discriminated against when trying to look for a job. There's a book that's out that it highlights 10,000 challenges for a person with a felony to get a job. And I wouldn't say it's 10,000, but it's a lot of obstacles and a lot of challenges that a person goes through in order to make themselves a productive citizen in society. It's so hard. Some guys it takes them years to achieve anything or to get accepted back into the normal acceptance. Even guys on parole, some of their parole officers won't allow them to get a driver's license.
Right, yeah.
You know, but the guy has to go to work, or a woman has to go to work.
And our state is one of the highest states that violates, too.
Oh, yeah. Because the thing is this. It's a lot of money involved.
Right.
for a certain class of people. Let's be honest here. And it's become prioritized. It's a private thing. You know what I'm saying? Whereas the private companies is getting involved now. And there's investments, there's job opportunities, okay? And this is why the prison population has not dwindled down. Because a lot of people will get laid off, okay? And this is where the politics come in part. Here.
That was another reason why I loved seeing you at Birchfield, because you had that class, that audience there that knows nothing of what's going on.
Right.
And that was exceptional that you had that audience. I am stoked about your show. I can't wait. I've been watching your lives. I love what you're doing with the lives. That's awesome. We're going to share.
Well, let me ask you something. Have you seen the 20 episodes that I put up there with my guests? Because that's the show right there.
Right.
Girl Talking to Me with my guests is the show. The lives was just something that I
Right,
did
that you
while
did
we were
after.
quarantined.
Right. That's right behind you. Isn't that the one in the originals?
Yeah, this is the original. This is Augusta.
That's the one.
The 12 hole of Augusta.
Yep. That's the one. That's the one that made you. Yep.
And this is a 20 by 30.
Love it. And you got there, right? You actually played?
I went here.
Yes, you did.
Where Tiger won last year.
And you told him, and he called you and said, thank you, did he not?
I said, look, Tiger, you're going to win. He said, I'm going to try my best. I said, no, you're going to win.
Love it. All right, I love you.
And I just came out in this month's issue of Golf Digest magazine,
Oh,
where I drew a picture of Tiger,
nice.
and I put a shirt on him with this hole right here.
That's
Hold on, let
awesome.
me go get it right quick. Hold on, I'm going to get it right quick. Hold on one
All
second.
right.
So here's the cover of this month's issue, April. See?
Right. Yes.
So they asked me, they said, we want you to draw this picture of Tiger, but we want you to do it in your own artistic way. Right?
Okay.
Okay. So I'm going to show you the picture, and then I'm going to show you our article, because we got an article about how I told him he was going to win the Masters.
All
A lot
right.
of people don't know about this. So here's the drawing that I did. So here's their picture.
All right.
Here's my drawing.
And there's Valentino. Love it. Yes. Oh, that is so cool. You did his shirt in your. That's awesome.
Might
Yeah.
warm up to you.
Yes. I
And here's
love
the
it.
article. So check it out. It's April
I
issue.
will definitely check it out. Okay, awesome.
I
Thank
think
you.
the
God bless you, Valentino.
story
Love you
is
too.
almost
We're
over.
going to do a part 2 to this.
Yes,
Yeah, the story about to go on.
absolutely.
All right. Okay,
Looking
cool.
forward to
All right,
it.
love you.
Thank you. Love you.
All
Stay
right.
safe.
Okay, I will. All right, bye-bye.
Bye, honey.
What an incredible story. Make sure you go follow Valentino on social media. You guys keep staying strong, keep loving strong, keep supporting one another through this journey, because you're one day closer to it all being behind you. Lots of love from my heart, Kat and Valentino's hearts to all of yours. I'll see you beautiful ladies and gentlemen in the next one. Bye guys.
Okay, guys, I'm so. Oh, girl. I have not watched none of their new stuff. Oh, her husband had 300. I'm sorry, y'all. I had to talk to Marcello's. I'm sorry. Look, y'all know, if y'all was a prison wife, y'all would know. Y'all would understand. But since y'all ain't prison wives, like, girl. But did y'all enjoy that video? And I guess the timing kind of worked out right. I was up there. Marcello had just called. He was like, you want me to let you go? And I'm like, okay, literally, I have to go to work. Okay, I do too much. I already got my shower. I just got to throw on my checkered skin. And then I have to run to the house. I'm caregiver to my sister. I got to let her get dressed. And then I got to rush off and hope to God I make it to work on time. So if I don't talk to him now, because you know with GTL, you cannot call back to back. So he literally would not be able to call me back until 30 minutes later, which, you know, they got the line system. So he can't really just buff the line and stuff. So this would have been now or never to speak to him until after I get off of work. So I'm like, okay, we're already watching this video, so I'm gonna let y'all finish watching the video. As I'm reviewing the video, y'all didn't get none of my commentary, none of my talking, girl, because I be talking. Y'all ain't getting none of that. But yeah, it worked out. It worked out, and then they worked it in. Tony has done it again. Yeah. It feels good. I don't know where that came from, but it came from that worked out. But yes, y'all go subscribe to Ro Clausen, Ro and Adam Clausen. It's no longer just Ro Clausen fighting for her husband. It is now her and her husband fighting side by side for those that are still behind those bars. That is so tremendous. We have either Adam testifies to U.S. Sentencing Commission vlog, and then it says what really happened. We got in trouble behind the scenes. Oh, so it's a lot that happened since he got out. Like, girl, the fight just begins once they get out. If my fight ain't been no ways easy or anything. So once Marcello ever come back, like, before Jesus come back, or before I was gonna change my intro. Y'all know my name is Cadillac Dixon. I'm the Drama Like Prison Wife. I'm the legally blind artist that is rapping and painting for justice, hoping to see justice before my hair turns to gray, and before Jesus comes back, and before it all fades to black. Hiss ya, girl, Cadillac. I think that's a little too many insertions, but girl, before all of the above happens, we need to get them home. But guys, I do have to go. I gotta make sure my sister gets ready, and I literally, I should have been already to the house. We're gonna be late now. I will see you guys later. Love you guys. Hiss your girl Cadillac. Shouts out to Miss Ro Clausen. I kind of reviewed your video. I hope it's okay, girl. I'm sorry, girl. But I just wanted to show the interview. I wanted to show people how my project Reach the World could actually freaking work. You can free him through art. I just need support. And that's all I was trying to show. I was trying to show how Valentino Dixon actually was able to free himself through his art, right? So that means if it could work for him, girl, it could work for me, girl. All right, hiss ya, girl, Cadillac.